Hey, what's going on, everybody? Tom Ramage, the Jersey guy here. Fortunately, we are all away this week, so please enjoy this episode rewind. It's a good one. It's about life after death.
Cotman, Crawford, and the Jersey Guy podcast.
Good evening, everyone. Kenny Cotman.
I'm Lewis Crawford.
And I'm Tom Ramage, the Jersey Guy.
What's going on, my friends?
How's everybody feeling?
Pretty spiffy.
Yeah.
Doing
How
good.
you feeling, brother?
Better. Officially, all of us have had COVID now.
Yes.
So
we're
good.
good. Yes.
You
we are
just
good.
had COVID, though.
I just had COVID.
Yeah. So good. As long as you're feeling good now. Everything's good. Everybody healthy.
Everybody's healthy.
Yeah.
Time's
Excellent.
feeling good. That's the positive thing.
Good. Yeah, because it's been, we did longer than our 2 weeks that we haven't been able to get together.
Yeah, we skipped a week.
Yeah. So it's all good, though.
Yeah. Shit happens.
Yeah. And it's all good as long as everybody's healthy. Everybody was okay. You're good.
Yeah, I'm good. I've been, when it starts, like, the weather starts to get, like, cold and stuff like that, I just start loading up on all the
vitamins and stuff.
Yeah, the vitamins and, like, the immunity
stuff.
booster herbal stuff. So, yeah.
That's great. Good
Stuff.
So you're feeling good, too. You're all right.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm feeling good.
Yep, and I'm chilling. We're good to go.
So
All right, so today's topic is, Lewis?
it's going to be on life after death. Near-death experiences, things that that people have, obviously, when they pass away, and they come back and they tell their story of what they saw, or even another thing that what's also good about near-death experiences as well, which they all go under this. So you got life after death, near-death experiences, organ donations where people get organs, and they have these experiences and these things, hobbies and stuff that they pick up from that because they got it from someone else. They have a personality trait that they picked up from that person who donated that organ to them.
Right.
Or no longer in the picture, whether it's their heart or whatever it might be. That kind of stuff is really cool. So for me, life and death experience, I was watching a program the other night on TV. And that was always a big thing for me when I was growing up. So when I was younger, my grandmother passed away, and I found her. My mom sent me upstairs to go check. It was on Father's Day, and she had passed away. You could tell she looked like she wanted to get up, and she had a heart attack, and she died. And that stuck with me ever since that time. And from that point, it got my curiosity going in regards to life and death. We went to the funeral. I watched my grandmother get put in the ground. You take the dirt, you throw it on it. Everybody has their own thing that they do, and in Judaism, you throw the dirt on, everybody has the thing. You go home, there's a bottle of water outside the house because you have to pour the water on each hand so you don't bring death into the house. This is like an old, it's really more of a European thing. I think that's what was brought over here when they came.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
So, and from that point on, I just started questioning everything. I was 14, I was in high school. And I'm thinking, is that it? Like, we're born, we live our life, we die, and nothing. We're in the ground, nothing.
Yeah,
and to me, that just did not make sense. And I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about, God, a deity, or some kind of, I do believe there is something after this. I think that the body is a vessel for the soul. So when this particular capsule or vessel, whatever you want to call it, has gone,
when it rots out,
when it's done and it's finished,
right?
We move on to the next level, the next place, wherever that might be.
Right.
So when I started getting into that, I started reading books like Life After Life from Dr. Moody. I think I could say it. I don't think it's a big deal. It's been out forever.
Yeah.
So,
the book.
But the book was fantastic. It was an easy read, and it really just, you couldn't put it down because it was story after story about someone either who passed away, had an accident, they were in the hospital, they were following the ambulance to the hospital. Yeah. They get in, they're working on them. They can hear what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
And then when they wake up, they tell them, and they can't explain it. Oh, it's just the brain because of the oxygen, and, it's the way the body, it protects itself. It's a defense mechanism, so it makes dying more easier for the body,
Right.
So it's not as, what's the word of traumatizing or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But as time has gone by, we're talking 14, I'm 56 now.
Jeez.
Okay. So it's a long time, but now,
Old
now
ass.
they're able to really more and more when they look into this.
Right.
And when I was watching this program, they're able. It's scientists. Science is getting more involved now in it. Now, before it was just people were having the experiences, and everybody's like, yeah, okay, whatever, But as time went by, now science is coming into it, and they're finding that there is a connection to that. It's not just the brain dying off and protecting the body or helping you move on, and then that's it.
Right.
It's fascinating to listen to what happens to these people when they die, whether it's having surgery or they got into an accident again, or whatever it might have happened, or they had a heart attack, and they just come, they tell these stories, they tell what happens to them. It's just fascinating. They have these near-death experiences, and then they explain what's going on, and they tell you what's going on, and they see this light. They're in a tunnel. They all basically describing the same exact thing.
It was like poltergeist. Caroline,
Right.
don't go to the light.
So that was fascinating to me. And then I think that's where my whole, when I got more and more into, my whole thing with science fiction and these kind of movies, we're into all of that. So we're nerds. All three of us are nerds. We all love that stuff. When it comes to anything, whether it's, so even when we watch movies like Star Wars or Star Trek, right? Yeah. There's some kind of spiritual realm. There's another place, a higher dimension,
right?
Star Trek,
the Avengers,
But I really believe there is a connection, and I know some people don't believe it, and that's fine. I know that, Tom, you happen to be
Atheist.
So you don't believe in God, but he doesn't believe in God. But my thing is, it's not even. It's not. I think mine is more like a cosmic kind of thing,
right? But all right. So Tom,
Yeah.
you don't believe in anything after this? Like,
No.
That's it. You bite the bullet and it's over.
Yeah, I think my belief is life after death is what it was like before you're born.
Okay.
I know that sounds creepy as shit, right?
But then that's the thing, though. So people believe that the reincarnation.
Yeah, I'm not saying reincarnation, but it's like, do you remember what it was like before you were born? That's what it's like after death. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Okay, so now they say that there is, when you have like a deja vu or you have these dreams that you are doing something else, that you're somebody else or what have you, that it's you either in a past life or another dimension. That's your other person, the other you.
Something you did, right? Something you had done in another life, or before it even happened.
Not to get too off topic, but I remember seeing this thing, and they were talking about the universe is infinite, right?
Right.
So that there's only a certain amount of calculations of things that can happen. I mean, it's so big, like light years away, that they believe that like the whole multiverse thing like exists. Like there's universe, next universe, next universe.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, there's that, again, I don't want to digress too much, but like, there could be a universe where I'm sitting in there and Lewis is sitting there and Kenny's sitting here, we're just all reversed.
And I got Kenny's shirt on and you're wearing, and that's,
like every Sunday morning.
And Lewis is from New Jersey. I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly.
God forbid. Don't ever say that again.
I'm just saying, I'm still from Brooklyn. I'm the cool guy.
No,
in another dimension, though.
Another dimension inside.
In another dimension, he goes like, "Hi guys," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can have hair, Lou.
Right.
You can have hair in another dimension, bro.
He's got like long
dreadlocks.
But
you,
you don't believe there is an afterlife. So before you say anything, they are able to hypnotize you now to where you can go actually back to when you're actually being born.
Right.
In other words, you can experience it.
Right.
Obviously, I'm sure it won't happen on the first session that you go in.
Right.
But I'm sure that at some point, once they get it, you're able to experience the whole experience. That's why we don't remember, because it's so traumatic at the time.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with childhood. You don't really remember anything from.
I remember
a lot, but from like 2 or 3, like 3 up, I can probably remember some things. But before that, just like maybe glimpses of stuff like that, right? I mean, so you go ahead and you go on why you believe the way you do, man. I mean, I'm curious.
I mean, to me, it just seems logical. There's so many different reasons that what's the word I'm looking for? It's like there's like how many different religions, and everybody's born into the right. I'm the right religion. You're the wrong religion. Right. And just like there's no proof of any existence. It's just like stories passed on from hundreds and thousands of generations.
Right.
So, for me, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. See, so for me, I'm not super religious.
Right.
By no means. But I believe that there's something else, whether it's reincarnation.
You're more agnostic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agnostic is like, I believe in a life after death, but I don't really believe in any specific organized religion.
Nothing like that. And like I said, so for me, that, kind of like what you were saying, Lou, that we are a spirit or whatever other being that's in this vessel because we're here on this planet. You know what I mean? So we need this to function or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Now, again, conspiracy is that we came from, another planet and we are offspring or whatever from somebody else. So, you know what I'm saying? That now we're here, we're living here and evolving, re-evolving. Conspiracy is that we are actually Martians that were brought here by by aliens. You know what I'm saying?
I knew this was coming in somewhere, somehow. Some way.
No, seriously though. Like I said, I just think that there's something else.
That's what the
Scientologists.
I agree.
That's what the Scientologists believe.
Right.
Well, listen.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not gonna.
But that's
we're not going.
That's a cult.
Yeah.
That's a fucking cult.
Yeah. Please no.
That's something else altogether. That's,
we can. That could be a whole other fucking podcast.
Yeah. That'll be.
I agree with you, Kenny. I mean, it to me, when you think about God and all that, the reason I don't, it's not that I don't believe, it's because what you were saying earlier. Let me start over.
Yeah.
What you were saying earlier about God and so many gods or so many religions. It's not so many gods. It's one God, and they're all communicating to that same God, even though they're arguing over the fact that they all have different gods, which they don't.
Right.
It's the same God in their own way. They're all communicating differently, whether it's Catholicism, Buddhism,
how they follow
Judaism,
Hinduism, Taoism,
right, whatever it might be.
Right.
You're really all talking to the same being.
Right.
There's no difference because that makes sense. Everybody's from a different part of the planet. They're going to have their own way of doing it. It's not a wrong way. It's not a right way.
Right.
It's their way.
It's just live and
what
love.
you do. Right.
Live and love. Right. Love everybody.
It's just the way you do it. So the way I look at it is like, that's the first thing that always popped into my head. And that's why I don't believe in religion.
Right.
Because I'm like, I don't need it because, like that, when they find the old sayings or quotes from Jesus, pick up a stone and I am there, or, that kind of stuff. Like, God is everywhere. You don't need to go to a church or a synagogue or to talk to him. You can talk to him whenever you're driving to work.
Or
you're on your jog or whatever it is you're doing. Or,
when your wife
that's
is
what you believe in.
Yeah, when your wife is acting up, Lord Jesus.
Right.
Please help
I swear to God. My God.
Kids are acting up.
I
Little
swear.
Lord Jesus. Sound like Medea. But now, what do you call you being atheist?
Yeah.
What is it that you would say, like, all right, so near death experiences, when people say that, atheists or otherwise, that they say they've seen themselves almost like an out of body experience. So they see what's going on in the operating room or wherever it was that they may have passed. I'm not saying that people see ghosts. I'm talking about people's own experiences. So like,
right.
Where they're able to see someone and then quote back to you what exactly you're dead. You're not alive. There's no breathing. There's no, and you're repeating every word that every person said or whatever it was that's going on at that moment of time. And then they're like, how did you know that?
What do you think that is?
Right. I think
good weed, man.
Yeah, some good weed, man. It's
I was so stoned you thought I was dead. Right? I was
no, but really, what do you think?
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that are unexplained, and I don't like to choke it up. It's God, it's God. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
okay.
like, I believe, like, if you were to go back, 100 years ago and be like, well, how did this happen? And we, people, well, I don't know. And now we know, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know if maybe just because you're not reading brain activity on a scan, maybe there still is brain activity going on. Okay. And like the mind is like subconscious. There's a lot of things I think that still are like unexplained. So that's my belief,
So I'm going to make a bet with everybody.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to make a bet with everybody.
Right.
We'll know it's real or not real if we see one another at the end. I'll just hang out and wait for your ass. I'll know when it's coming. If it's me first, then I'll know. I'll be tipped off when one of you motherfuckers are going to show up. Oh, by the way, Kenny's coming tomorrow morning. Okay. Yeah. I'll be over there hanging out, waiting for him.
Listen, bro.
I'll have my pro kids on and we'll be chilling.
The crazy train. And you know what, bro? I'm driving that motherfucker.
Yeah. It's funny. Someone on Facebook wrote today. They're like, oh, talking about how like, something about like funerals being so expensive and all that shit, and like I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, fucking dig a hole while I'm still warm and fucking throw me in. Like, I don't.
Right.
I don't give a shit, dude.
Yeah,
I'm dead. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Tanya and I already are not going to do the traditional open casket or whatever it is. Yeah. We're not doing any of that.
Right.
We're not even going to a funeral. We're just going to have our ashes, and then we want them done or placed in a certain way.
Right.
And we want family to come to my house or wherever it is and do a thing where they're eating dinner and having drinks and laughing and crying and enjoying the person that passed and the life that they had and everything, and laughing, crying, and maybe even get pissed off at them because they're not there anymore, You know what I'm saying?
And I hate to digress again, but the funeral companies, they're really fucking exploitive when you think about it. People are dying. Someone, they had a loved one who dies, and you go there and they're like, oh, this much for the we have this deluxe casket.
Yeah.
Like, that you feel guilty for not like getting this, and it costs so much money for a fucking funeral.
They rob you.
Yeah.
It's a scam. It's a huge scam.
Yeah.
Like,
What's that show?
That's why I'm like, throw me in a fucking hole.
Yeah, dude, listen.
What's his name? What's the name of that show? That something ruins.
Oh, Adam ruins everything.
Adam ruins everything.
Oh yeah. I love that
watched
guy.
that episode. Do you know that there's like a corporation of like funeral homes, and they bought all these small mom and pop funeral homes and let them keep the name. They keep the same name of the original funeral home, and the owners are the same. The owners are this, and they let the owners like manage the funeral home still. So like it just appears that they're like,
It's O'Brien and Sons.
Yeah,
it's not really
O'Brien and Sons funeral, funeral home, but really
Shlomo and Kravitz.
Like, whatever the name of this corporation is, I can't remember.
Right.
Like they own and they buy, and it's like a monopoly. And I don't know how they don't get Federal Trade Commission for monopoly bullshit.
That's why I love shows like that, because at least it brings out, it tells you, hey, do you really need to have this kind of
do a whole episode?
Are you dead, for crying out loud? You know what I mean? You're not going to feel anything.
Yeah. So it's funny you guys say this, because now you might dig this, Mr. Vegan.
Yeah.
Because I was out before I came here, and my friend Bill turned around and says that they are looking, because there's so much cemeteries of getting full and the money and all that other good stuff, that your body is taken and put to like compost.
Yeah.
So that this way you could turn around and take, you can give back to the earth, if you will.
Yeah.
So the way that the way your body is compost, that they're using the bodies to like fertilizer.
Yeah.
So how you think? I think that would be cool, because I'm talking about
fine with that.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
Why waste throw our bodies?
Recycle.
And not only that, embalming. You know how much embalming is like the most ridiculous thing. Like they used to embalm people that were like famous, or like a president died. They did it like during Lincoln's time. They embalmed him so they could parade him across the United States for his funeral.
I think it was for like a couple of months. I think.
So they embalmed him to preserve his body. But why do I need to be embalmed?
No. Right. I think I agree with Kenny.
So like you can use. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
No, so I don't. So like, why do you need to embalm me to show me, to put my body out for like a day or two
Right.
in a funeral home.
Right.
Don't embalm me. Just keep the casket closed.
Right. I want you to
I don't
remember
even-
me the way I
I don't
was.
even need a closed casket. Just do a funeral service.
Yeah, I don't
like
even
a
need that.
memorial service.
I don't
know
want that.
why
I told him to
doesn't-
throw a barbecue.
It's so bizarre. Like why does the dead body have to be in the fucking room?
Yeah.
It's so
Right? No, we
bizarre.
don't. Tanya and I don't even want that. We don't want a funeral service. We want our kids to do what we asked for our ashes or to be recycled.
Right. So now the funny is that because we all talk about being cremated, I said I wanted to be cremated, and why? What we would just I forgot how we even got onto the conversation, but we were talking about. I said I wanted to be cremated. He's like, yeah, my wife and I wanted to do that too. He says, but, and then that's when he tells me about the composting, and he says because being cremated is bad for the.
It is bad for the environment,
and I'm like, so you burn almost anything and it's bad for the environment.
but how much of it's being done is the problem.
But see, here's the shit though. What damage am I really doing to let me finish, right? To the environment, because there should be enough filters to catch the ashes or whatever before you
Okay, bro.
happy ass to the
but you're thinking, bro. Okay, that doesn't mean
well, what the fuck? Yeah.
oil companies know what they need to do to take care of the environment. Are they actually doing
Then
those
that mean
things?
that I said I want some of my ashes spread over Brooklyn, over Puerto Rico, and then the rest of the ashes at the Victoria Bra section at the factory.
Listen, bro, if you
So
show
now
up,
what
you show up
happens
where
when
I'm going to
some of my
be, and
ashes
you
go
got
up there?
fucking body parts all over the place. I don't know if I'm going to be hanging out with you.
Well, I mean, they say
I'm just saying. Couldn't just do your ashes in one place? Now we got to go look for them.
You don't have to
Really?
look, just in the helicopter.
It's so weird that they say it's illegal to spread ashes in the ocean. Meanwhile, we're dumping so much.
Yeah, right. And there's so much
waste.
plastic in the fucking
exactly.
ocean.
There's a
Come on.
there's a garbage patch in the Pacific that's the size of a continent. And they're like,
Exactly.
oh,
Yeah.
throw ashes in the ocean.
Exactly.
Wait, isn't that Jersey?
No, it's Staten Island.
Oh, yes, that.
Yeah.
Yes, this, that too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, that's great. I'm glad. I don't
No,
know
but
what
I
they're
think
saying.
that's a really good idea. I was reading about that composting thing.
Oh, were you?
Seriously, I was, and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea because listen, it's what's the saying? Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
yeah.
You're putting everything back,
Right.
which is probably the way it needs to be because it's natural. Now, there's a forest in Connecticut that you're able to take your ashes and plant them by a certain tree. You have a marker.
Right.
They put it by that tree. They plant the ashes in the ground. So it absorbs because it's good. You're putting it back
Yeah.
into the ground and everything. So it's
So you're
kind of
saying I will
recycled.
have
So you
wood
just go
for
to
the
that
rest of
marker
eternity.
where you were.
I will have wood for the rest of eternity.
Absolutely.
Holla.
Yeah.
Indian
Yeah.
swimming.
You know what?
Serious wood.
I say, speaking of wood, just throw my body in a fucking wood chipper. Put it, and fertilize some
Jesus
fucking
Lord.
crops.
Really? A wood chipper?
Why not? Mulch.
Then you got it's perfect compost. It's already chopped
already
up,
done, yeah.
ground up. Just
That's
makes it
all.
with some soil.
That's like that
Yes.
from that movie where they catch the guy in the backyard and he's putting the leg into the chipper. What the hell was that movie? I can't remember the
What
name.
movie was that, bro?
Oh my god. I'll remember it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so see where we went on this conversation
Yeah,
just
yeah,
based
yeah.
on
Sorry,
that,
my
right?
fault.
No, it's
Digressing.
good. No, it's
Yeah,
perfect.
That was the idea. That was part of the question.
That was exactly what I
of you
wanted
as
to
an
happen,
atheist,
you
where
know?
think, it goes.
So what do you guys think about have you ever heard anything about people who've had experiences when they've gotten organ donations? So if they got a heart or a kidney or a liver, and
See,
then they
I've never-
for some reason have these urges to do then now they're gardening or they're a carpenter or
Yeah, it's really
they're
wild.
playing piano and and then they find out later on when they meet the children or the family member from that person that you got that organ from,
Right.
that they actually did do those things.
See,
And
I
that
never
was
heard
part of, and that is crazy.
Well, have you ever met anybody, either one of you guys, that has had organ transplant?
I may have. I'm not sure, but I think I may have. But
So
I'm
my
vague, so-
stepfather had a liver transplant,
Yeah.
and he got a kidney from my sister. So living donor stuff. I'd never asked him because I didn't think anything of it. You know what I mean? If he's even had anything like that, if he's had, I mean, I don't think he's doing anything different right now. My sister would have told me, and we would have made jokes about it. You know what I'm saying?
that you know of.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because my sister lives down there with them in Florida. So I've never been, I've never asked her, or she's never said anything. Yo, you wouldn't believe it. Pop did this, and the third.
You should call her just for the fuck of it,
bro,
and say, "Hey, listen, I got a really weird question for you. Just hear me out." And if she says, by the way, blah blah blah.
Yeah. I think she's out on a business trip right now, so I can't call her. But yeah, man, I'm gonna ask her tomorrow, and I'll let you guys tune in next week when we find out if my step pops is,
Has he had any strange experiences since he's got his penis replaced?
I was trying to be good, you fuck.
I couldn't help myself.
I mean, who knows if and again, like that's going back to what I was saying, like there's a lot we don't know. Like does our cells store like information, like our brain,
But it does.
Characteristics in your body, right? And then it carries on to somebody else.
But
hey, you don't want an organ transplant from a fucking serial killer.
Well,
that's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I think they've actually made movies like that.
There's movies about that.
There's a couple of movies like
where
that.
that person got, and then they are actually doing or acting out that way.
Dude, there was a good horror flick.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, but it's going back to the ways. But yeah, and it's done. But so if you figure there's such a thing as muscle memory,
right?
So then obviously it's in the cells. There's that memory.
It's your DNA.
It's your DNA. So now when you're put into somebody, or a body part is put into somebody else, you're getting a little bit of them.
I feel bad for them if they get me, man.
Bro, who are you telling, man?
I can't stop jerking off every time.
Yeah, it's gonna be that one arm. Like the commercial.
I'm in the shower. I'm grabbing the soap.
He's going to be like the guy in The Lady in the Water with the giant, one jacked arm.
Yes, that would be
the Skittles commercial.
The Skittles commercial too. That was great. Oh my God.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah.
See, so
go ahead. I'm sorry.
So now, so with that, if there is such a thing as muscle memory. Now so that then it would be cell memory. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So
DNA.
then with that, is it the same thing for twins?
Yeah, I would. Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
so
because
now, we know
it's the same cell that splits in half, right?
So now we hear that twins
identical
have
twins.
Identical twins. Well, even fraternal, because I know these two girls that are
it's two different eggs though. Fraternal,
but they still have a little bit of their
That's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that.
So you figure, but I'm sure not every single one, but I'm sure that there's still a little bit of something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now, then that goes back to then organ donations. You would have, it's assumed,
right?
We didn't have anything in front of us to even say, yeah, that's a fact, because you can't really look it up like that.
They say that twins have a connection. Like one will feel something going on. Maybe even if they can't exactly pinpoint it, they feel like, I got to call my sister or my brother, or whatever it is. And then, are you okay? No, something crazy, whatever it is, whatever that connection or whatever they're feeling, whether it's a good emotion, a sad emotion, or a traumatic experience, like something like a disturbance in the force,
right?
Kind of thing.
Well, they did that study with the twins, where there was like twins that were like adopted, like they were adopted by different
separate.
Well, they were separated at birth,
and they were both had the same hobbies and interests.
That is fucking crazy, man.
They're from the city. They were from the 5 boroughs somewhere.
Of course they were.
Yeah. Serious shit. I know what you're talking about.
Like they both were like they were both like tinker guys, like fixing things.
That is that's great. I love that kind of stuff, and that's why I feel like we're more connected.
There's more
in just what we see here.
Right.
There's something else going on that we're not aware of, and I really feel like that when we get to that next point, whether you believe it or not, right now is irrelevant because that's just part of this process that we're going through. When we get there, it's going to be the next thing, and we're going to, and I truly believe that. And you'll see people who have passed before you. You'll see the animals that you had. You'll, that kind of stuff makes me happy, makes me, for me, that's like, that seems right for me, know, and then, and if you're like Tom, for you, it's like, yeah, you know what? That just doesn't make any sense to me. I need a little bit more something to give me that thing. And then you're,
I'm just all over the place.
You're
bro.
a fucking anomaly. I have no clue.
I'm a Jedi. I'm in the Force.
But the thing with twins, it is pretty wild. It's funny though. Twins. Speaking of twins, my wife, her brother, his wife is a twin, identical twin, and it's funny. I was at my nephew's birthday one day, and his sister was there, and he was hanging out with his cousin. his cousin looks just like him. And I said to my wife, I said to Tara, I said, you realize genetically they're half brothers.
Right.
On a genetic level, they're half brothers, even though they're cousins. They look so much alike.
Was it their father and father who were brothers? Were they like uncle?
No, the moms.
So his aunts.
Twins.
Okay.
So his aunt and his mom
That's
are
crazy.
identical twins. So like technically, they're half brothers. They look so much alike.
That's crazy. Wait, that's amazing because I have something similar to that.
Yeah.
So like my dad, right? My Aunt Mickey, my Uncle Bill, my dad's brother, Bill. I had all my cousins, Freddie, Norman, John, whatever. My cousin John looks just like my father. Like it should have been my father's kid.
Right. Well, that's a different topic.
But I'm saying it's just the fact how powerful the gene, even though it may be a sibling who had another kid, and it looks more like, it doesn't look. Yeah. You look just like your Uncle Bob. Right. You don't even look anything like me or your mother. You know, you should have been his kid, even though it is your kid.
Yes.
It's just the fact of how that's amazing stuff to me. I love that. That's just nature is a force to be reckoned with. It's something that you really need to just kind of like try to absorb and understand. And it's crazy.
My brother, genetics are so weird. My brother, him and I look almost alike, except he's like 5 inches shorter than me. But the weird part is his voice sounds exactly like mine. Like,
wow.
we used to when we were younger, I used to like answer the phone for him, his girlfriend, and start talking to his girlfriend, like, "Oh, hey, baby, what's up?" And like, just would see how long we can go with it. And
until she figured it out,
5 minutes until she's like, "Why are you answering weird? Like giving weird responses or like things you're saying that you normally don't say?" Because we all have ways we say things.
Right.
That's great. And then me and him would just start fucking laughing. And he's done it to me. He did it to my wife. We were dating when I was dating Tara. Like he would answer the phone or whatever for a little bit, and she would eventually figure it out. But
it wasn't you.
But like we have the same voice. It's really weird. Like I'll play.
But you guys
voicemail. I'll play like a voicemail for him. From him, he'll be like, "That sounds like you."
But you guys are opposite, though.
Oh fuck yeah!
From everything that you tell me, just what we talk about in regards to not to get into it, but politics and whatever it is, you guys are like on total different spectrums. It's fucking crazy. See, me and my brother couldn't do that because I was adopted, so it's like you didn't sound anything like me. What the fuck? I told you to practice.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying? But. How many twins have you known in your life? I've known a few.
Probably
like my cousins were fraternal.
I think maybe two, just two sets.
Yeah, and I think I did too. I think there was a couple of girls that I knew who were twins growing up in Brooklyn. Yeah, how you doing? And then I can't remember. I know it was more than that, but it's pretty cool though when you run into twins, man, and how they tell stories and shit and how they fuck with their family. Like you were just saying, like you and your brother, but what they actually do, like, the shit you can get away with. Come on. Could you imagine if you had a twin and I had a twin, bro?
Oh my God.
The shit we'd be getting away with.
Dude, it's the shit I did now without a twin.
Oh my God.
Bro.
Yeah. Go to work for me today. Could
you?
Staying home.
Exactly, Yeah, one job. You had one job. Yeah, no shit. That's freaking hilarious, bro. Yeah, I can see that shit happening.
Absolutely.
I can see that.
Twins, they can feel each other's pain, joy, sadness. If something's going on, they have an urge to call them or whatever.
Yeah.
That stuff is just fascinating to me, how connected you really are and you don't even realize it. That's, and that whole thing with like science fiction. Hold that thought for a second, Tom.
Okay, yeah.
How much of science fiction, when you go through history and you look at what man has imagined, put it on film, even from the beginning before there was just sound in film and everything, right? How pretty much everything has come true. Right? Because you're going with something that you feel inside. You have this idea in your head. You're going with it. You're expressing yourself. And then down the line, these things start to happen in actual history.
Yeah, I think sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong.
Or they're very close. It's it doesn't have to be exact. I'm not saying it has to be exact, but it's damn close to what they were picturing or had an idea of is what I'm saying.
But then that's where the alien stuff comes in. You see what I'm saying?
You know,
because
I remember. So when I was younger, I used to work at a pizzeria, and during the slow times, there would be regulars that come in. They would just BS with us. This real techie guy. He was funny. He actually, not to go too off topic, but like at the time, he had satellite TV. We had satellite TV in the pizzeria I worked at, and he figured out how to like jury rig the cards, and we got like free satellite all the channels.
Yeah.
He was a real techie guy, and he goes, "We're talking about like computers and how to keep moving faster." We were just talking about computers, and he's like, in about 15 years, 10 or 15 years, you're gonna be able to fit your computer. It's gonna be so small, you're gonna fit in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
you go to the phone.
and I was like, no.
Yeah,
and now
phone.
like we're all walking around with smartphones.
Cell phones.
They're computers, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Which do way more than the computers did back then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the same thing with the Star Trek, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
The flip phones.
Mm-hmm.
When the first cell phone came out, that's what it was. The tricorder.
Tricorder,
Right.
yeah.
Exactly.
But or the communicator.
Communicator. Right.
Tricorder was
Yeah.
medicine.
I'm just
you're
saying,
checking,
bro.
hey,
Listen,
I
you're the
gotta get it
techie
right.
here, whatever there.
But and then it just kept progressing and getting better and more technical and everything.
That's why I'm saying. That's where they say
The alien DNA. You
comes
think
in.
so?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where how is it in the short amount of time that we just do and have all this kind of technology?
Right, out of the
quick.
blue.
Yeah. And then they would talk, and you watch a lot of these documentaries and they say how the Germans had a lot of this stuff from the war that they were coming up with.
Well, they were a little bit more advanced as far as rockets and
Right. So
missiles
how
and
did
things
they
like
get
that. Yeah.
What really I have a hard time understanding, like how is it that like society or technology barely moved
For a certain amount of time.
and then all of a sudden 1900s is like poof, like all of a sudden we like if you look at I don't know 1890 to 1990 between that 100 years how much technology progressed.
Yeah, you're looking at between cars,
airplanes, going to space,
all
the
that
internet,
stuff, I mean, like I said, I'm
bicycle, medicine,
everything, bro, everything. The way that it's just evolved. So,
but and then for 1,000 years before that, not much change. We're still riding on horseback. We're still, riding using a ship as a main transportation. As the main long distance transportation.
Right. Right, and now we're going to have planes or vehicles that will travel sonic speeds where it took you 10 hours to get there, it'll take 2 hours for you to get there. But what about the Mayans? What about all that stuff where you have depictions of alien visitation
right
at that time,
right,
where there people were dressing in space type outfits or they're a vessel that they have carved in a wall. And so then that stuff got lost in time. And then later on they come and find out.
Like to show Ancient Aliens,
Yes,
holy shit, they just found this. Look at this thing.
Right.
So jewelry or whatever it is.
Now, so then twins, telepathic or just, what's the word? Empaths, stuff like that. Is that because we come from something somewhere else?
It's possible.
I
don't know.
Is that what the life after death is?
I believe there is extraterrestrial life. I absolutely believe in that too as well.
Listen,
I do.
E.T. look real as fuck.
Right. Like for instance,
E.T. was in Star Wars.
If you
see?
remember in the last not Raiders of the Lost Ark, but what's his name? What's the guy's name in the movie?
Indiana Jones.
Harrison
Thank you.
Ford?
Indiana Jones,
Oh.
the last one, right? Where he's in the
Crystal
Mayan
Skulls.
temple,
Right.
and right, and it
Crystal
takes
Skulls,
off,
yeah.
and he says, "Where did they go? Space?" And his teacher says, "Space between spaces."
Right.
Right. So in other words,
Another dimension.
so they're traveling, not necessarily fast to where they need to go, but they're able to bend space to where they need it to get to somewhere quicker, rather than having to travel
Right.
that distance.
Right.
It's done like boom. You're
Right.
you bend it. They were able to have the technology to bend it in such a way where they can get from place to place without having to travel a long time. Like
Folding a piece of paper.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So then with all that
Good
being
stuff,
said,
right? I love that.
Right. So now with all that, you said that people that were in the Holocaust, that they felt that their kids,
Right.
and that their kids felt their pain or had some of the trauma.
I love it. You're reading the board, man. That's
I don't know what you're
great.
talking about, bro. I'm trying to keep it together.
I love it.
Yeah,
No, but you're right. And that goes back to the whole thing with the twins, the connection that we all have. Again, so they found that Holocaust survivors, their children, actually have DNA that's passed on to them from their parents, from the trauma that they experienced from being in
Right. So
the Holocaust. Now
what are they experiencing? Are they experiencing like memories? Are they experiencing
just the trauma, just the
like they have a word like a trigger?
the traumatic experience of what happened. In other words, I don't know necessarily if they're memories or it's necessarily just the actual the grieving and the pain that they went through.
But how do they know that that's what it is? You feel me? So like example,
Right. So
like,
right.
I know that when I
They
was
must
a
be
kid, I
having
got
some
into
kind
a
of
fight.
experience where they're
That's
able
what
to, where they're like, I felt like I was part of that. When you tell me about it, I feel like I was there. That kind of thing,
okay.
because it's, and then when they test their DNA and they found they actually
Right.
have
Okay,
this,
I get that.
which is really cool when you think about it, because when they say you're diabetic, it's in your DNA. Well,
Right.
that tells you that you could actually change it. There's got to be a way where if you're getting something passed on to you, that's an emotion, that's a traumatic experience that's being passed from your parents to you, and you're carrying it in your DNA.
I get it for health. I don't get it for the Holocaust. You follow me? So I
Or
do-
trauma,
or that kind of trauma.
Yeah.
Right.
So that that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm kind of stuck because we'll say since you were saying the Holocaust, I went to DC and I went to the Holocaust Museum. Dude, I was like brought to tears and I left the building. I didn't even finish the whole
Right.
tour. That is, if anybody goes, man, listen,
I've
be
never
ready.
been.
Well, basically,
My
it was-
God, man, it is.
it's horrible.
Insane. So
It-
now,
yeah.
does that mean that I was just feeling what was there because I'm empathetic?
Well, no, they did that on purpose,
there
of
is
course. They want you to get that.
Well,
that
no,
whole
but you're saying that
experience.
the people feel
So, yeah,
that trauma. So
in other words, they're feeling their parents'
pain.
pain. It was carried down to them. They were able to understand and sympathize and recognize, hey, they understand because they're getting the same experience they had that they was passed to them. Their pain, whatever it was. And to me, that is like beyond another step of holy shit, how does that happen? Kind of
But I
thing.
wonder,
You know what I
if-
mean?
if
What the
that's-
fuck?
I wonder if that is just. I don't know if is that just empathy though.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
like if so here say this right. Say if you had someone that was adopted who had family in the Holocaust, would they feel it?
But how would
if
it be
they
in your
didn't know?
DNA though?
But that's what we're saying.
Is it
What-
just like
what are you
empathy
finding?
or is it DNA?
Well, that's two different things. I
But
mean,
see,
empathy,
so then-
you could have empathy for anybody, really, right? I
So
mean,
then-
if you.
right, all right. So boom, you were raised Jewish,
Right.
right? So now, does that mean you've heard stories? So now you are just empathetic and not feeling. I know you're not
Well,
Jewish.
Right. Biologically, I'm not. Right. So my DNA,
Yeah, you're
I think I'm European.
Right, but you're like, you feel and understand. I don't
Absolutely.
understand so much,
Well,
but you feel the pain. So, like I said, I feel the pain.
Right.
And I'm half black and
But I
half
think that's
Rican.
just being human and having
Right. So
compassion for other
and
people.
that's what the question is then how would it be that it's the DNA?
So let's say you had a traumatic experience.
Right.
They were only using the Holocaust, as an example right now. So if that's the case, that could be anything.
Okay.
It could be anything that
Right.
was traumatic to anybody who had in life. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Holocaust. It could be any type of really extreme traumatic experience that
Right.
someone had in
Okay,
their lives.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
they pass it down to their kids. And I think it helps with, it's so here we are. We're at a place where we're talking about something. And we're like, okay, I get it, but how does that happen?
Right,
So,
yeah.
but it's family. So for me, it wouldn't happen because it's adoption, right?
Right.
So the other day I was just thinking, not to get off topic.
Yeah.
So when we talk about being connected and biological, right? So I was thinking, the one thing I would like to know is what characteristics do I have from my natural father.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about my mom. I already
Right.
kind of have an idea, right? Was he driven? Where do I get, how I am with the whole, me now doing the thing for work as far as representing the employees, when it comes to the union, right?
Shop steward. Yeah.
Thank you. I was just trying not to.
Well, you can say it. It's nothing.
say
So
that.
shop steward.
steward.
But
I mean,
I'm driven by that, and I have this passion. We almost,
Yeah, we got it.
and I'm driven by that because I'm like, that's not right. That's wrong. And no, someone's got to say something. And I feel like, okay, I'm not saying that my parents who brought me up instilled that in me,
Right.
Yeah.
but I have a very, it's like almost part of my DNA,
Yeah.
right? It's like, did that carry down from him? And that's where that came from, because now I'm driven to be that kind of person. On top of the fact that my parents may have already instilled that in me and had in some way was like that as well too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No,
I mean,
it does. I get it. I understand. I get it.
It's like nature versus nurture. kind
Right.
of thing.
right, kind of thing, right? So, but that's why I think when I saw this, I was actually down here watching this program, and that one program had all these things that we were going over, and I'm like, holy shit, I need to write this down. So I grabbed the notebook, I wrote it down. And that's why I said to you guys,
Yeah.
write down your things. There's no topic that we can't talk about that's not going to be interesting. And this was, I like
you know
this.
What, though? But see, here's the thing. You got to remember, and I think our listeners would agree, probably like this episode or the next one, we are cool. We're fucking geniuses in our own mind.
We're cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Just the cool kids.
Listen, I don't want to say I'm a genius because the last episode, I totally, my English was totally horrible. So I
Well,
can't.
you know,
I can't
and the way
jump
your
on the
brain
genius
works
thing.
are two different things.
Yes,
You can be, it depends how you're raised. If you're raised, you can be, there's people, I'm not saying you're uneducated, but there's people who can be very smart and very intelligent, but they haven't had good education. So
Well, they don't have good life experience, or they don't have
but
street
they're
skills
very-
like we
Right,
do.
right.
there's some people very smart, but just, they didn't have opportunities to be.
I think I'm very smart. I just say it.
Well,
So uneducated and smart are different things, And there's people who are very educated who are dumb as shit,
Go, Bunch, put that rifle together so fast.
I'm going to finish with this one. Depending on what part of the country or the world that you're standing in will determine how smart you are.
Really?
Quote, Burt Reynolds, Smoking the Bandit. I'm
Really?
just saying.
Really?
That's
Okay. And
There's it. Yeah.
on that note,
Yes. So thank you everybody for listening. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Glad you're feeling better, my brother.
Yes.
thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Everybody have a great week. Love, peace, and hair grease.
Live long and prosper.
And go vegan.
Good night.